Hello? I'm going to try this again. This is like, what, fifth time's a charm. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Trying this again. I'm really late. I'm like an hour late. So now I'm annoyed. And I tried 4 other times and I got stuck in this weird box and I don't know how to get out. So I'm going to try this again. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. I need to talk so I can get unannoyed. Somebody say something. Texas. Is it Todd? Welcome. Y'all see that Snickers commercial, where they say they're hangry? That's how Renee gets when she's hot. And I was having a hot flash. I was stuck in this little box. And so I was getting annoyed. And I tried to get out 3 times to get out of this box. Finally, this is like, I don't know, 4th or 5th time, I'm finally out of the box. So I'm going to try this again. I'm only like an hour late, which I hate being late. But I got a phone call that I had to take. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Somebody make me laugh because I've just been annoyed. Oh. Hold on, guys. I gotta open the window. So you're gonna hear the South Dakota wind howling because it's like we're in a wind advisory. Hey, Wayne, thanks for the badge. You missed all the commotion, Wayne. This is like my 4th or 5th time trying to get on. I was on, and then I hit something, and I ended up in that little box. I couldn't get out, so I clicked out like 3 different times. Then like the 4th time, nobody was hopping on because I'm running late. And then I was stuck in a little bit bigger box that I figured out. I don't know. So I'm like, that's it. I'm just not even going to do a live tonight. I'm just, instead of hangry, I'm annoyed because I was having a hot flash and trying to figure it out. And technology just frustrates the crap out of me. Anybody else have technological problems? So anyway, I decided, okay, I'm going to try it one more time. And if I'm still in the box, I'm done for the night. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Tonight we're talking about grief again. So if you're a regular here, I'm sorry. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Oh, and the last time I had my Bluetooth on and I invited somebody and I couldn't hear them because my Bluetooth was still on. Just a hot mess tonight. Okay. All right. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. And if you guys can just keep tapping that screen, the likes really do help. I appreciate it. I'm going to let a few more people hop on and then I'll get started. Lay down, Bentley. Sorry, my dog, and I'm afraid he's going to knock my tripod over. Thank you for the badge. Thank Colorado. Welcome. Thanks for liking the live. I appreciate that. Thank you for the badge. Thanks for the likes. Thanks, guys. All right, I'm just going to wait a few more seconds and see if anybody else hops on before I get going. How was everybody's Sunday? It was windy. Windy. So it was windy here. I'm surprised you're not hearing it howling. We were under high wind all day. Frank from Kentucky, welcome back. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. There's like crap flying around here. And my lighting seems really weird tonight, but I just got a new phone, so I haven't been live on my new phone yet. Well, I was one night, but I don't know. It looks weird. It seemed brighter the last time. Maybe it's my light. Let's try this. Okay. Oh, or my lights broke. There we go. I like that better. It's not quite as bright for me. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Belinda from, oh, I'm not even going to try to say that. Arkansas. Can I just say Arkansas? It's probably Murfreesboro. Did I say that kind of close? Thank you for the badge. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, it looks like we're just going to go with who's here. So, if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. I've been on TikTok since March of last year. The reason I got on TikTok is because September 14th of 2023, my husband unalived himself for TikTok purposes, which then led me to my gifts, my abilities. I have abilities to talk to my guides, and then they slowly breadcrumbed me to my purpose, which is to be here with all of you beautiful people and just to help uplift others and to help others with their loss. So that's why I'm here. Caitlin, thank you for the smile. I appreciate that tonight more than you know. Brian, thank you for the badge. Where are you from, Brian? Thank you for the badge. Is it Elena? Did I say that right? Thanks for the likes, Wayne. There goes the throat chakra every single time. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Good, I got it right. Every single time. And I don't have much to drink tonight. That isn't going to help. I normally have a drink. Just be prepared, and I wasn't prepared tonight. Okay, guys. So my guides told me you're beautiful and you have the most beautiful smile ever. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So tonight, thank you for liking the live too. I appreciate that. So tonight we're going to talk about grief. So if you've been here before and we've talked about this, I apologize. You're just going to get it on repeat. But first, before I get started with that, if you're new here, I only have 2 rules. The first rule is I just ask that you be kind. We just be kind to everyone. And the second rule is we don't talk politics. It's not against one side or the other. It's just that's not what my page is about. My page is about uplifting others and healing and loss and trauma and that kind of thing. And so it just really doesn't fit here. There's a million other pages out there for that. So I just ask that you follow those 2 rules. My page is your page. I set up this community for you guys just as much as myself. We're not shy here. You're never interrupting me. I always feel the conversation goes where the conversation's supposed to go. So with that being said, also I am on my journey where I am and you are on your journey where you are of life. And none of us are going to agree on everything. And so we just agree to disagree here. And if you can't do that, I just ask that you hop off and keep scrolling. We do talk about sensitive content here, so please don't report me. Hollywoodland, welcome back. So if you're just hopping on and you're new here, tell us who you are, where you're from. Once again, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota, and tonight's topic is grief. So I'm just going to get started. Like I said, we're not shy. Feel free to hop on and comment. That's what this page is about. There's my cat right on schedule. Every time I get live, he has to do his little cat call thingy. I think he likes the attention. So we're going to talk, first we're going to talk about the stages of grief, right? So there's guilt, anger, sadness, loneliness. And if I forget something, feel free to hop on and tell me more. Hi there, new here from Ohio. Lori, is that right, Lori? From Ohio, welcome. Glad to have you here. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. So one of the first things is the first one I talked about was guilt, right? And I want to talk about that for a second. So if you're new here and you don't know my story, my husband unalived himself for TikTok purposes. And so in the very beginning, I had a lot of guilt. Guilt is normal, but I also want to get the message out there that it took me months to be able to say that I am not responsible for somebody else's actions, right? So just know if you've lost somebody and there's guilt there. There's no reason to have guilt. You need to forgive yourself. You're never responsible for somebody else's actions. Okay? And then we're going to talk about anger. Angela, thank you for the badge. I appreciate that so much. Anger is one that I'm still struggling with. Mostly when I'm struggling with life situations. I definitely, Angela, thank you for the rose. I appreciate that. Definitely struggle with anger, right? And that's okay. That's part of grief also. And then we can talk about sadness, right? We're sad. If you're all not familiar, I'm also a medium. If you're new here, my name is Renee. Welcome. I am a medium and I do talk to the other side. And I'm learning with that ability, which I just discovered I had after my husband passed. Thank you. I lost my parents in the past 5 years. I'm stuck after the loss of my mom especially. Well, Laura, you're in the right place. That's what we talk about here. Feel free to just keep talking to me. Just know that if you talk to me, I'm going to ask you questions. Of course, you never have to answer. So like I was talking about sadness, it's okay to be sad, but know that the sadness is more for us, right? The loss of them here in the physical world. One thing that I've learned the most is being a medium is that they're in a good place. They're happy. They're at peace. I had to go downtown yesterday to go to a shop, and I don't go downtown very often. And a gentleman at the shop who was waiting on me was telling me how he lost his son in I think it was August. For sure been there. Thanks for sharing the live check. I appreciate that. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Anyway, so he was sharing with me that he lost his son. And of course, as I was standing there, when anybody who's crossed over has discovered that I can be their voice for them, they find me. And so as I was standing there, I was getting a message from his son. And I said, I did tell you that I was a medium, right? Because we're having a discussion after I got there. And the gentleman said yes. And I said, well, I have a message for you from your son. And so I give him the message from his son. Sandy from North Dakota. I don't know what I was going to say. Welcome. Glad to have you here. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Tonight we're talking about grief. Right now at the moment we're talking about sadness and how sadness is more for us, right? We grieve them. We have sadness that they're not here in the physical world with us. But I just want everybody to know that even though they're not here in the physical world, they are still with you always. Angela from suburb of Syracuse, New York. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And I remember your return. Glad to have you back. And so just know that they're always at peace. They send you signs. And if you want them to send you a sign, all you have to do is ask. And most of the time they should send you a sign. When they first cross over, it's a little harder for them to come to you because they're still learning the ropes, so to speak, when they get to the other side. So the easiest way they can come to you when they first cross over is through dreams. Chris from Minnesota, welcome. If you're just hopping on, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Okay, and then I put down loneliness as the next one, right? Sometimes when we lose somebody, it can be lonely. Yes, also lost my son in August. Oh, Sandy, I am so sorry for your loss. Well, you're in the right place. And feel free to vent or anything you need to do here. My page is your page. That's what this page is about. Aw, thank you, Angela. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for the follow. Is it Dina? If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. Robin, thank you for the follow. Aw, thank you. I appreciate you, Angela. And I'm so glad that you're back. And so sometimes when we lose somebody, it can be lonely, right? So that's going to bring us into the next thing that my guide said. Robin from North Carolina, welcome. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. And thank you for all the likes, Sandy. So the next thing is grieving. There's many different ways of grieving, right? As far as, I didn't quite say that right. There's many different things that we grieve is what I'm meaning to say. In other words, we grieve the loss of a loved one from when they pass over. I'm just going to say it like that. I have to be careful what I say because TikTok will boot me. The loss of a relationship, right? So grieving doesn't just mean the loss of a loved one as far as them crossing over, right? Sometimes we grieve the loss of a relationship, the loss of a friendship, right? And all of these different ways of grieving is perfectly normal and can apply to any of those, right? Maybe we feel guilty because we lost a relationship. Maybe we feel anger from that, sadness, right? Loneliness. They're all perfectly normal reactions. Ma'am, you are beautiful. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the badge, Lori, and all the likes, Jack. Just keep tapping, guys. I appreciate that. It does help me a lot. And so what do you do? So right now we're going to also talk about, we're grieving the loss of somebody who has crossed over, right? So what do you do when the cards, the calls, the messages, the visits, they all stop, right? We've all been there that has lost somebody, right? People bring food, the cards come in, the phone calls come. And then pretty soon, the week after the funeral, they slowly stop, right? And in my case, not even a week after, right? And so here's the thing is, how many times, and I didn't put this in my notes, but I just want to mention this, I have a lot of people reach out, right? How many times does this happen where people reach out to you and they're like, I'm so very sorry for your loss, if there's anything I can do, right? Or, hey, how about we go out for coffee or something sometime, right? And what's really sad is the fact that sometimes people just say that because I don't think they know what else to say, but they don't always mean it. And that's what's really sad for me, is that I did reach out to a couple people after I got home, after I lost my husband. And, people who said, hey, let's just go get a coffee, were suddenly like, when I called, like, why are you calling me? Right? So just know that is unfortunately normal too, but it's okay to keep reaching out. And that's one thing that I've discovered in the 1.5 years since I lost my husband, is that maybe you have that slim few people who didn't really mean that, but there are people out there that do truly care and do truly mean it, right? So even if you call a couple people and they're like, why are you calling me, right? Hang up the phone and try somebody else, right? There's always somebody there, okay? So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, there's my itty. His name was Itty Bitty, but he's no longer Itty Bitty. Elizabeth Ross. Do you want to elaborate on that, Angela? I'm not quite sure. Do I need to write that name down or screenshot that? Or are you just tagging somebody? And so the next thing my guide told me is first steps to healing, right? And in my case, if you've heard my story before, once I decided I was going to stay on this planet, I knew group therapy was not going to work for me. And so I had to find a way to heal myself, right? Who is haunting you? I can't tell you that right here, right now. But if you'd like to set up a channeling session, we might be able to figure that out. If you go to my bio and email me, we could set one of those up, but I don't channel or do any of that live. Sorry, that's just not how I work. Do you have an idea who it might be? Just asking real quick. So first steps in healing, right? And here's the thing. So I have a cat over here. She wrote a beautiful book about death and dying. Oh, okay. I'm going to back up real quick. Sorry, guys. Got my fingers, my hand. I just wanted to screenshot that real quick so I could look that up. Sorry about that. Yeah, you do have an idea about who it might be? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. He passed. And just know sometimes if I'm not answering you, sometimes I don't get all your comments either. They like to filter, even though I have all the filters off. They don't filter out any of the trolls, just the comments that I want. SC. Okay. And so, like I was saying, so in my case, it's like everybody just kept saying, put one foot in front of the other, right? And I was completely devastated. We've been with my husband for 32 years. We'd never been apart more than 2 weeks. I didn't even know what that meant, right? Like, it was hard for me to breathe, let alone put one foot in front of the other, right? And so here's some of the things that, hi, how are you? And I forgot your name. Don't tell me though. Does it start with an S? Was 26 marriage. I lost the wife 2 years ago. Had the same thing. I'll be there for you. Hurry up and wait. Yeah, I am so sorry. It starts with an S. Shelly. Is it Shelly? Am I right? I think I'm right. Maybe. If you're just yes. All right. Awesome. Welcome back, Shelly. A long time no see. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. So tonight we're talking about grief and the different stages of grief, and that it's okay to grieve. And one of the biggest things is it not only okay to grieve, it's okay to not be okay all the time, right? I am doing well, thank you. I have my moments. Sundays are really, really, really hard for me. Just because Sunday is my only day off. I work 2 jobs and it's my only day off minus my social media. So technically I have 3 jobs and I sew, so technically I have 4. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But so Sundays are hard because that was the day that my husband and I always spent together. Because my husband was a workaholic, so usually he works 6 days a week. And so Sundays were our only day together. And if it was nice, correct? Yes. And so if it was nice out, we would take a drive or go out to eat or do something together, right? And so Sundays I find myself more lonely. I guess during the week I don't have time to be lonely, right? I'm busy or I'm tired. There's no in between. So I do struggle with Sundays a little bit. But otherwise I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you? How are you dealing with, because it was the loss of your dad, correct? So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. And so some of the practical steps that I started taking, Bernie, upstate New York. Welcome, Bernie. I'm glad to have you here. My community is your community. And if you're having any trouble with your loss, just know we're all here for you. That's what this page is about. And we're so glad that you're here. As do I. Sundays? Is that what we were talking about, Angela? And so one of the first things that I started doing, I was dabbling in meditation before my husband passed, and I wasn't very good at it. Yep. Okay. And so I just basically isolated myself because I'm the type of person that, I always say I'm the most outgoing introvert you've ever met, right? I can be alone for 3 weeks and it doesn't bother me. I enjoy it, especially since my husband left. I really enjoy my own company now. Because I've learned to love myself. That's huge. But also, I can be around people and I'm fine also. So yes, I started therapy and it's helping so much. Oh, I'm so glad, Shelly. I'm so glad. Happy for you. I'm glad that that's working. And so for me, I deep dived into meditation, and that's when I discovered that I had these abilities to talk to my guide. And then I journaled, and I spent a lot of time in nature. Nature is very healing. If you're new, if you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. If you guys can just keep tapping that screen, that really does help me out, those likes. I'd appreciate it so much. And so journaling was the second thing that was very, very beneficial for me. And actually a week ago, not today, but a week ago, Sunday, I went for a hike and I took my journal, my book, and I journaled. And there was some things that I thought that I had healed already that I hadn't really healed apparently. And so I was kind of working through that, doing some journaling, and it was quite helpful. And then the third one, which I was just talking about, nature. And nature, hikes, grounding, if you can get your feet in the grass, the dirt, sand, water, it's quite beneficial. Nature is extremely grounding. Yes, it is. It really, really is. It helps a lot. And I need to do it more. For me, I live in an apartment building, so it's like where before, like when I have my own house, I could just step outside, right? And I can hear, but you gotta watch out for because people don't pick up their dog, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah. And then the fourth one is music, right? Music's always spoke to me. And in the very beginning, music was very helpful for me too, right? There's different ways. And I don't know if you guys know, if you go to YouTube and you could type in the different frequencies, and music really helps. I started journaling, writing daddy letters. That is so helpful. Yes, it is. It is so, so helpful. And I'm so glad that that's working for you. That's great. And then here was the other one that my guide gave me. Sitting in your grief and feeling it. And that's what I did last weekend, right? I found a picnic table where I was hiking. There was nobody around. And I just journaled and I cried. And I just felt it. Because that's what you got to do. And sadly, that's why a lot of people don't heal, is because they don't want to feel it. And unfortunately, if you've been here before, we talk about all the time is you have to walk through that storm, right? You have to feel those feelings. Like I say all the time, though, just have a moment and don't live there, right? Don't unpack and live there. Just have a moment. And maybe you'll have 10 moments through the day, but just don't unpack and live there. And then let's see. And then that looks like that's all of what I had for that. Does anybody else have anything else they want to add? Dancing and acting goofy has been my go-to. Yes. And that's what I was going to say too. Helen, that's me now. Elaborate on that for me, will you please? With the music part. Just dancing. I love to dance. And so there's a lounge here that has a band every Friday and Saturday night. And my friend just started dragging me out. And we go dancing, and dancing is my joy, right? That's my jam. And it was quite helpful. But even just turning on YouTube and turning it up as loud as I can, being in an apartment, whether it be Footloose or whatever, and just dancing. And like you said, being goofy is very, very healing. Grief. Okay. And that's what we're talking about tonight, Helen, is we're talking about grief and is there a certain stage of the grief that you're in right now, as far as there's, anger and sadness and loneliness, and there's guilt? That's fabulous. Yes. I love music, of course, and I like just about every genre. I'm not a huge blues fan, but yeah, I love. You're in the sadness part. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. And just know it's okay. We talked a little bit about if you're just hopping on and you're new here. I am also a medium, and so I do talk to those that have crossed over. And so when we talk about sadness here, I look at sadness different than I used to now, right? Yeah, we're sad because our loved one or whoever we're missing has crossed over. But just know that they don't leave you, right? They're always with you. Always, right? Anytime you're thinking of them or they randomly pop in your head, it's not random, technically. And I don't believe in coincidence anyway, but it's not random. Generally, that means they're right there and they're with you. So, okay, guys. Well, does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about or add to any of that? Or anybody else? You're welcome. Like I said, my page is your page. This community was set up for this reason. So if you got something else, especially Helen, if you got something you need to talk about, or do you know the first steps of getting through that sadness? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. While I'm waiting for some more comments, I have to do my little plug or my guides get upset with me. So if you're not aware, I do have a YouTube channel that's under Scorpio Medium. And if you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you subscribed. Marlene from Mississippi, welcome. And thank you for the badge. I appreciate that so much. So, like I said, if you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you'd become a subscriber. If you like my lives and you do miss a live, you can always go over to my YouTube channel and catch those. I always upload those generally the next day. And so you'll find all my videos that I do here, over there. And then, like I said, I upload my lives over there. So you can always find those. If you look in my bio here and my bio over there, you will see my 2 email accounts. I have scorpiomedium74@yahoo and scorpiomedium74@gmail. And so if you would like to set up to book me to channel a loved one for you, that's how you would do that, is you would go to my email and email me and we get that set up. Linda from Atlanta, Georgia, welcome. Glad to have you here. If you're just hopping on and you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Tonight we're talking about grief. Lydia from Wisconsin, welcome. Glad to have you here. And I'm late tonight, guys. I apologize. I didn't get on till after 7:30. And normally I say if I'm not here by 7:30, I'm not. But I had some technological challenges and I had a phone call that I had to take earlier. So sorry about that. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Anybody else got anything else they want to talk about? Helen, are you still there? How are you dealing with your sadness? User 2714632113508. Please kindly refrain from comments like that. Do you do readings for dogs who have passed away? No, I've never done that. I don't want to say no because I've never really done that, but I'm just going to say it's probably not my thing. Because I really don't know. Angie, will I be approved for unemployment? I am psychic, but how do I want to say this? I just don't do anything like that live. Angie, but sorry, I was just reading. Oh, thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. So I'm not sure, Angie, if you're going to get on, I can't talk, never can talk, approved for unemployment. I hope you do if that's what you're hoping for. Maybe manifest it if I suggest anything. See yourself getting it, opening it or spending it or whatever that may be. I'm not a snake salesman. Really, I'm not. I'm just a person who's lost somebody and I'm just here to try to help people feel better. So, but thank you for your comments. Too bad you won't be here anymore. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Just part of it, right? See, this is what's frustrating is I get comments like that, which is fine, but they allow comments like that, but comments of people who actually are trying to talk to me, they don't allow. It's crazy. Dan from Texas, welcome. Tina, Rhode Island, welcome. Glad to have you here. The ones who know you love you. Aw, thank you, Shelly. I appreciate that. And you know, it's crazy. So I was only basically doing Facebook Lives. Just a quick background if you guys aren't familiar. So my husband had gotten sick at the end of 21 with pneumonia. And when he went in the hospital, he was doing well. And then, long story short, he had 2 strokes and went downhill from there. Was in the hospital for 88 days. And so I was doing Facebook Lives to update because I have friends and family all over the country, right? And so it was just easier to get on a Facebook Live every day and talk, right? And and to give updates about my husband. And so I got attacked a lot, to the point where I completely shut my account down, like made it completely private, right? And so after my husband passed, and then I discovered that I had these abilities to talk to my guides, and my guides are, a couple months later was like, you need to be more present on social media. You need to be helping people. That's your purpose, right? And they said, so you need to have all these social media accounts, and you need to be completely public. And I was like, I was like totally dreading it, right? And I know I'm missing a lot in the chat, guys. Thank you for the heart. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to back up real quick. Thank you for the follow, Dan. I appreciate that. Thank you for the follow, Curtis. I don't have to be quiet. Last time I checked, this was my account. It's my TikTok. So anyway, out. It's my TikTok. So anyway, you can just hop off and keep scrolling and go bye-bye somewhere else. Anyway, and so I was quite attacked, right? And so when they said this, I was like, no, I don't think I can do that. So that's part of why I drug my feet for a couple months. And then, and so fast forward like a year and a half, or about a year later, I'm on social media and I'm trying to help people, and I'm putting out videos and I kept telling my guides, I just feel stuck. I'm just stuck, right? Like my whole life of 32 years disappeared. My past was my past now. I didn't belong there. I didn't know what my future held. And I just felt completely stuck. And my guides finally said to me one day, they said, Renee, you're not stuck. We're preparing you. And I'm like, okay. And then fast forward a year and a half later, and here I am on social media, and it's like comments like that one or the one before, would have just broke me. And it's like, now I understand. They were preparing me. They were preparing me for people who are just unkind and have nothing better to do than sit on their keyboard and insult other people. Thank you for the heart, me. I do appreciate that so much. Is it Brian from Nashville, Tennessee? Welcome. Going through a lot right now, reaching out. Hey, Wade, how are you doing? Remember, we're always here if you need us. Thank you for the badge. Thank you for the badge, Wayne. I appreciate that. Whoops, sorry. And so, yeah, so I did discover I was being prepared. Struggling with depression. Sorry, guys, I don't have a drink tonight. I know better. I'm so sorry, Wade. Do you remember some of the things we talked about? Wade was struggling with that, depression. I do believe that there are people that do have imbalances. If you're new here, don't get me wrong. I'm not blanketing everybody, but we do know that, depression does come from some kind of a trauma, right, Wade? And so you need to figure out what that trauma is, right? And you got to walk through that storm to figure that out. I was in an e-bike wreck and it has really not, oh, I'm sorry. And then you lost your cousin here, was it a couple weeks ago or a week or so ago? Well, I hope you're okay, Wade. Just know we're always here for you. Okay, so if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. That's pretty much all I have for you guys tonight. If you're new here, know that I am live. I try to go live Sunday through Wednesday between 7 and 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Usually it's closer to 7. Tonight it was closer to 8. I had a phone call and I was technologically challenged on some things. Hold on, guys. See, this is what's so frustrating. They let the trolls come out in full force on the same night always, but they won't let your comments come through. And so I am here Sunday through Wednesday. Generally, I try. Last week, I was really struggling. I was exhausted. I had a really long week. But yeah, so Sunday through Wednesday. You can always find my live if you miss it uploaded over at Scorpio Medium on YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you subscribed. And then Thursdays, starting this Thursday, if I'm not exhausted, I'm going to try to start doing lives. I figured out my webcam finally on my laptop. I'm going to start trying to do lives over on my YouTube on Thursday nights for those that aren't on. Hey Jay, how are you? Thank you for the badge. Those that aren't on TikTok, I'm going to try and do lives on my YouTube over there on Thursday nights. So that's pretty much all I've got tonight, guys. Does anybody else have anything else they want to add or talk about or you need to vent about tonight? Anybody? Anyone? Going once? Going twice? Anyone? Okay. Well, on that note, guys, I'm so glad that you were here with me tonight. Thank you so much. I love you all so much. And I appreciate you. I appreciate all your gifts, all the likes, all the badges. Okay. Bye, Shelly. Hope to see you again. We missed you. Keep going with that healing. So, like I said, on that note, I hope you all have a great night. And remember to make tomorrow great because it's a choice. And I'm going to say until we meet again.